Hi guys, it's Leanne here, and today on my channel I'm going to be doing a video that kind of just concentrates on all about dating, thoughts, you know, things that are must-haves, just like all of that. Let's just get to it. So I have categories. I have communication, trust, loyalty, things I don't understand, fulfillment, thoughts on long distance, marriage, kids, house, prenups, and arguments. So that's about 11. So we're just going to start off with like the biggest one that I feel like not that a lot of people like don't understand, but like I feel like for me personally, communication is key to a relationship. I think everything that I just listed, besides the things like house and kids, are all pretty much basics. And in a relationship, if you can't communicate with your parents just on little tiny things, then why are you in a relationship? You know, it's really hard for that. Like when you can't spew out your words and you can't say, hey, like what you just said to me, I really just, you know, I'm just not a fan of what you said. Say your best friend said, hey, like, you're a bitch. Very random. Your best friend said, you're a bitch. Okay, that's great, but I really just, I don't agree with what you said, and I really, that doesn't make me feel good. If you can't spew out the problem that you're having with whatever that person said or did, then the other person in the relationship, the significant other, is not going to know, and they're not going to understand. And when they don't understand and they don't know, they can't help you fix the problem, and when they can't help you fix the problem, there is no problem to them. They're gonna walk their day around caring less because they don't know otherwise. And this is just kind of what I've seen over the period of time within like interest videos, YouTube videos, kind of just stuff like that, and just like overlooking other people's relationships from the outside, I guess. There are multiple ways you can communicate to your partner without, I guess, like, without doing it. I mean, just multiple different ways, I guess I would say. You can have a code, facial expressions if you're out in public and what he's about to do is just not what you please. Give him that facial expression. He'll know. If you guys can communicate that in your relationship, he'll know that those facial expressions, and he'll back down most of the time, at least. Weekly check-ins, monthly check-ins, even going back down to like pretty much telling your partner straight up. Like if you tell your partner straight up, I highly doubt that they're gonna get really upset because you told them how you felt, unless it's an abusive relationship, and where when you tell them how you feel, since the relationship's all about them and not us and you as a couple, then I can see the problem there, and you probably need to run out of that relationship. And I think the whole like, and this is just like how I feel about relationships, and how I feel in a relationship. I feel like people being the subjected couple, whoever couple would be, A and B, Sally and Bally, for all I know. Sally and Bally, Sally doesn't communicate to Bally, but Bally doesn't want to say that because she's not communicating. It puts a strain on your relationship, and I feel like no one ever talks about that. Like, why aren't we talking to your significant other about like putting a strain on your relationship when you're not communicating to your partner? Like, why isn't partner B the one who's not getting the communication, the reciprocation back, not saying anything? Because I've seen multiple relationships where the other person doesn't say anything, and then the other person, like, the whole relationship falls apart because no one's saying anything. Like, I really never understood that. And if you guys have any questions throughout the entire video, just leave them down below. I will be sure to answer them as best as I can, because if y'all know, or if you know, or if you don't know, I've never been in a relationship. I have been in my opinion, on my end, a love triangle. Hate those, don't advise those. But going into trust, I feel like trust kind of like goes into loyalty. But so you'll hear me talk about both. And I'm looking down at my phone. And this is kind of like in my head when it comes to trust. I feel like when it comes to trust, building that trust is very important before the relationship. If you guys don't trust each other before the relationship, that's going to set up a relationship for failure. Because you haven't set any boundaries, which I personally believe in boundaries 100%. Like, if we can't set boundaries at the beginning of the relationship, then I don't want it. Because then, you know, walking into the relationship how I feel about A, B, C, and D. Now that's not saying that like you can't do any of these things, but you just know how I feel about whatever I listed before the relationship even started. I want to preface that by saying, like, I would personally put boundaries out. If I knew that me and the guy were talking, I would preface these boundaries out then and there. That's what I did wrong talking to other guys in the past, is the fact that I never set any boundaries, and then I kind of let them walk all over me. And it sucked. It really did. It really fucking sucked. Because I don't want anyone to walk over me. Walk all over me at all. And with putting boundaries out, that like for them to show you respect and you reciprocate that back when they set their boundaries out. And that's kind of like, I guess, number one. Like, if you don't set boundaries, then the relationship's gonna fall apart eventually. It'll make or break the relationship. These two things kind of, like I said, go hand in hand. Trust and loyalty do go hand in hand. And with trust and loyalty, so trust is hard to gain but easy to break. Let me re-say that. Trust is hard to gain but is easy to break. Everyone to kind of like embed, if you get anything from this video, that is it. That is it. Like, I'm not even saying that because of the fact that like everyone knows it in their head that trust is hard to gain but easy to break, but no one, I guess, puts it into the relationship. And like, I've seen and heard of people taking exes back. Oh, that can, I could start a whole video on its own about that. But there is a reason why you broke up in the first place. There's a reason why you got divorced in the first place. There is a reason for it. Why are we going back? Why are we going back? I really don't understand that. I can't. That like literally irks my soul. Loyalty. I'm kind of blowing through these because since I haven't been in a relationship, I can't really get the full gist of it. Maybe after our first relationship, maybe that'll change and maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. What I don't understand, just like literally in the loyalty department, is the fact that people cheat. I never understood, and that's something that I never even put in the things that I don't understand, but I literally just don't understand. How do people cheat? Like, what makes you why can't you just open your fat ass mouth and say, I'm done with this relationship? You don't even have to say it nicely. You could say, I'm done with this relationship, walk out. Or you could be the nice girl. You could be the nice girl or nice guy or whatever you prefer. And say, look, like, I really don't have feelings for you anymore. I can't be in a relationship if I don't have feelings with you, you know? Like, why can't we say that? I think that's what breaks both women and men when they're feeling great in a relationship and the relationship's quote unquote succeeding and doing swell, or at least well, and then all of a sudden you go and cheat on them, and it makes them look like a fool and makes them feel, I want to say dirty, but like I don't know how you would feel, but like not so great, you know? It really just, I would rather see, and this is just in my opinion, I would rather you tell me in a relationship I don't have feelings for you than you to go behind my back cheat on me, because that makes you look like a fool more than me. and I'm just gonna be like, done. But that's just me. I think, and this is exactly what I kind of, practically almost what I said in the trust department, but loyalty gets broken when trust is lost. And I think that's what a lot of people in relationships nowadays kind of like forget. They're like, oh, well, that was a mistake. But you're not understanding that was the loyalty that was just broken and lost. Like, wouldn't you want to rethink about being in a relationship with someone who just cheated on you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not every person is meant to be together. Like, not every couple is meant to be together. And you obviously know that. You'll know when it's the one, because you know that person, and you I guess you just have a feeling about this person. And that's what I've heard, but you just know when you're going to be with this person forever. And if you don't see yourself with that person forever, then, you know, weigh it out before something like loyalty is broken. Now for the juicy part, the things that I just don't understand. Things that I just don't understand. Like I said, cheating. I really, after this, the part that I'm about to like go through, cheating is like number 2 on my list. I never understood cheating. Why is social media included in relationships? Social media should not be included in relationships. When, like, I don't understand girls who are mad at guys who follow other girls and like other girls' pictures. Like, I just never understood that. Like, that's kind of weird to me. Because at the end of the day, your man is going to walk through every town, every grocery store, every gas station and see another woman. You know what I'm saying? So like, why mentally care when he just double taps that picture? Because you already know that he already has you. So you already know that he at least likes you enough to fucking date you. So why are we like getting disrupted? Like, why is the earth getting disrupted over like literally social media? It makes me, or it irks me, because that's just telling me that you have no trust in me. And like I said before, trust, in my opinion, is like one of the top like 3 to 4 things in a relationship. If you can't trust me before we're dating, then why are we dating? Because if you can't trust me, then that just shows me that in the relationship there's going to be multiple issues that arise over the tiniest little things. And I don't want that in a relationship. I want a relationship where I can have fun with my significant other. We can goof around, we can be silly and stupid, we can casually be mean to each other a little bit, we can, you know, go through all of these wonderful dates and memories and times, and get married happily ever after, and have kids, and have this really big house. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last thing I want on my mind is for someone to be mad at me because I'm liking other guys' pictures, and vice versa. Because I already trust you, and I already know that at the end of the day, because we've already set boundaries, that we both can trust each other enough, and we already know what each other like hates, or not hates, but like, so we know each other's boundaries, so we can kind of veer off of that in what, you know, like, is this a good decision or is this a bad decision? You know what I'm saying? Quitting a relationship over one tiny thing. Now, I do have to reiterate this. I did say, if you don't have trust, I think I did say, if you don't have trust in someone, then why are you dating? This is a little bit different. Problems, and I have another, like, I have arguments, probably sure that I'm going to go deeper into it, but when a problem arises, you're like, well, I think we should just not date at all over that problem. That shows me on my side and my thoughts that you don't have the strength to find solutions to things, because even though that we find solutions, it may not what we both want as the solution, but we compromised and we made it work. So for instance, I'm a picky eater. And this is a very like large, like minor scale one, but it's just the point. Say my boyfriend gets just, he just gets angry because I don't know what I want to eat. I never know what I want to eat. And he asks me every single time, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, just pick a restaurant. And then I get mad because there's nothing at the restaurant. Tell me. Just tell me. And let's make a compromise. So for instance, instead of asking me, what do you want to eat? Or where do you want to go out to eat? Name like 3 to 4 places. And then that way I'll have to choose one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I already know mentally what I'm thinking about, because if I'm saying I don't know, then I really don't know what I want. So if you pick a few that you want to eat or you're craving, then I can always find something. You know what I'm saying? But if you pick nothing and then ask me where I'm going or what I want, that kind of just gives me no options. I don't know. I'm a picky eater. I don't know really what I want. But that's just like a really small scale problem. But things like that add up, and when it adds up, it gets to be where people break off the relationship over the stupidest little minor things, and it makes me want to crack up in tears laughing so hard, because it's so weird to me. And maybe y'all can enlighten me on why this is a thing. People have a problem with people flipping their phone over on the table, like where the screen is down. To me, that shows me, if like my significant other would do it, that shows me that I have their full undivided attention without distractions, which is nice, because sometimes you just want to spend quality time with your significant other, and when you can't spend quality time with your significant other because social media is in the mix, or like your phone's in the mix, or work, or you know, blah 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 blah, it gets annoying and hard sometimes. So I don't really understand why people are walking red flag, and it kind of shows me that in the end that you have someone else or something else, or you're just not as enthusiastic in a relationship. And it kind of shows me that I wouldn't want to date you anymore over it, because of the fact that you're getting mad over me flipping my phone, which is a very, 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 very teeny tiny fucking minor offense. It actually shouldn't be an offense at all, in my opinion, because there's just nothing, there's really nothing there for it. I really don't understand that. Now to fulfillment. And I think this is honestly one of the two, like one of the like bigger like selections of things that I could sit and talk about. Fulfillment looks different on everybody, and I guess like your love language can be another like rendition of it, could like add to it. I think you really want to be aware of what your significant other and yourself really like, what your love language is, what your wants and needs are, and what their wants and needs are. That way you can kind of fulfill both sets of needs and wants within the relationship. It makes it a lot more easier. It lets both parties know that they're wanted and they are loved by each other, and at the end of the day, it is one of the biggest parts of a relationship. And I think that in order for both parties to be happy, the wants and needs have to be fulfilled. Maybe not all of them, but as long as you guys are both happy and feel fulfilled by each other, I think there should be very little problems in the relationship, because you guys both know that each other is fulfilled by each other. You know what I'm saying? And I've already kind of like talked about this, the boundaries thing, where I feel like it should be one of the first things that you set up in the relationship. Boundaries, it kind of taps into the fulfillment, because now you guys know each other's boundaries. Now with that, you can kind of feed off that energy and feel the vibes, if that makes sense. And that's really how a relationship works. Like, if you don't feel loved by your significant other and you don't feel wanted by them and, like I said, loved, it doesn't make you feel the relationship he's working out. And I'm gonna read this verbatim, and this is an example. If you're going to do something behind my back, and this is from an example from me, if you're gonna go do something behind my back, you might as well tell me, because I won't be as mad. I just want to know that you're safe, and I want to know what you're doing. That way I know that I know where you are, because I don't want, if something happens and I need to pick you up at any cost, male or female, like whatever happens, like I want to know that you're okay. And kind of like a more in-depth example of that would be, he's going out with the boys and he knows like I don't like them to go drinking and hunting. At the same time, I find it really dangerous with guns around, and this is kind of just like whatever, but this is just something I could kind of think about in my head that kind of probably would make me feel unsafe. You know, maybe not that he's a heavy drinker, but he gets a little wasted, and he's a lightweight when it comes to the alcohol, and he likes to drink heavier style drinks, you know, late at night. I just want him to tell me that that's what he's doing. That way, if anything were to happen, you know, please enlighten me. Please text me when something does happen, because I will come to you and get you, and I want that energy to be reciprocated back. You know, if I was out with the girls and I said, oh, well, I just don't feel great at this party, or I don't feel safe in this bar, can you please come pick me up, that you'll run and get me, no problems and no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I want our relationship to be. And this is kind of like a little like side note, and everybody really knows this, but most girls like surprises every so often. It doesn't have to be flowers, but for the girls, you need to reciprocate that back. You know, get him his favorite chocolates once in a blue moon. Or when you're going to the grocery store and you know that he had a bad couple weeks at work, get him his favorite soda. Make him a little care package. It doesn't have to be big. You know, get him this. Or, you know, he's sick, get him like a little care package. My thoughts on long distance. Long distance can work. It can completely work if you can trust each other and make it fucking work. If he can travel to you and you can travel to him, that means that you're showing him love and he's showing you love by coming and visiting each other. And same with like morning and night texts. Morning and night texts are, in my opinion, would be essential. You know, that's a time where, you know, say he works late at night and I work early in the morning. I may not get to your text messages right away when you text them, but hell, like, I'll write how my day was, you write how your day was. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. In my opinion, morning and night texts are so crucial, along with visiting each other is another crucial part, because it shows each other that it's working, and it shows each other even though that you're long distance and it's temporary. And a lot of people, I guess, forget that long distance is temporary. People end up making it work. I feel like another thing is, well, and this is what a lot of people say and I've heard is, well, you don't know if he's cheating on you. Well, it's because the boundaries were set and the trust has been trusted. So I don't have to know where he is to know that he's safe and he's doing what he's supposed to. Now, does that mean he's not going to cheat on you? That kind of just depends on the situation, and like I said, every relationship is different. So yeah, he could possibly cheat on you, and that is a possibility that you need to think about when doing long distance. But don't make it the entirety of the relationship, because then it's going to make you fall in the end. It's going to make your relationship fail, because you can't trust him enough to know that even though you guys aren't texting all day, that you feel that he's with another girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't make me feel like I want to be in a relationship with him. It would be like, I kind of think that he's going to cheat on me. And I wouldn't want to be in a relationship that I feel that way. And I don't even think anybody would want to be in a relationship where anyone would feel that way. And if it comes true, don't be so harsh about it. You know what I'm saying? Get the factual evidence before you throw in some words, because he cheated on you, but maybe there was a reason he cheated on you. And I'm not here to say that there's a reason to cheat on anyone, because that's a no-no, and that's what I'm saying. But I think that when it comes to fulfillment, maybe he wasn't getting fulfilled by you, and his wants and needs weren't being met, and he cheated on you because of that. And some people, like I said, don't know communication, so they don't say anything. And when people don't say anything, neither party knows. Marriage and prenups are just gonna get mixed in together. First of all, marriage is not easy. I don't know what in their right mind made people think that because you're married on a piece of paper, now you are, like, the relationship's gonna be easier. No, it's not gonna be easier, because at the end of the day, you are a whole. You are a whole, and most married people have kids, and when kids get involved, sometimes a mother's never gonna get time to herself. And when she finally has a fucking minute, now she has to worry about her partner, because she doesn't want her partner to feel any less of a partner because of that. So now she doesn't get time. And say the mother is a nurse who works a lot of 12 to 14-hour shifts, and she's really busy, and she's always on call, and she works in the emergency department, so the ER. And then the husband's always taking the kids to sports and doing groceries, so he never gets time by himself. And then she's exhausted, so she goes to bed. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your relationship in a marriage to feel where one partner is doing more than the other, or one partner not to communicate and not to have dates, not to find time to do things, because in a relationship, you guys are a whole. So if she's in debt, he's in debt. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, if she's sick in the hospital, you're most likely going to be right there. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a minor thing, but still, like, people forget these things and then think being married is some magical fucking experience. Yeah, it's a magical experience. There's so many things to it. There's so many other things that come in within marriage, you know. But if you don't keep up with what you do during the dating status, so monthly, you know, like check-ins, or even monthly check-ins, whatever, check-ins in general, dates, spending time together alone, all of those things add up, and then it's what makes people want to get divorced. And I know there's so many things else that you could get divorced on, but this is just like the basics of like a relationship. And then for prenups, this is a very controversial topic. I kind of support both sides here. Yes, if you have a well-known business before you get married, because once you get divorced, I think everything splits 50-50. I think. I could be wrong though. But you know, like, just like, I think Brooklyn and Bailey, I think they got prenups when they got married, just because, you know, they have a lot of assets already. You know, you wouldn't, I mean, I'm not to sit here and say be selfish or anything, but I'm just saying, like, having to share what you created all by yourself would kind of be annoying, in my opinion. It would be like the pinnacle of, like, building a house and then being told you had to knock it down just because. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see that part, but if it's just, you know, just because you have expensive things or because you bought them expensive things, I don't know. But like, I kind of think that that's a no, in my opinion, just because I don't find that necessary to have a prenup if there's no logical reason to it. And money is just one of the logical reasons. you can get a prenup, but I just find it kind of like, if there's no logical reason to get a prenup, why have a prenup, in my opinion? Kids, and I've kind of already put in the mix of kids. I want like 3 to 4 kids. I would really want 2 twin girls and 2 boys. Well, twin girls and 2 boys. That would be like really great, but either way, I don't really care the gender. I would be happy either way, but I feel like that kids are so expensive and people forget that. So when they have kids, it just, I feel like, in my opinion, there is always a right time to have kids. And I know in my heart, that's how I feel, at least, that there is always a right time to have kids. But kids are a miracle. They're expensive though. They are a pain in your ass. And you're gonna come with the terrible 2s, the terrible 1s. You're gonna come with the teenage sass. You're gonna come with it all. Like, you gotta think about that. And I totally forgot about writing this down. Bubble wrap moms. Bubble wrap parents. I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that. Bubble wrap parents. Cannot stand that. Example A. My mom is the pinnacle of a non-bubble wrap mom. I got, and I think I have a scrape on both knees actually, but I was riding my bike. So I think it's twice on one on each knee. But I was riding my bike one day, and it was literally here in this house a long time ago though. And I was coming around this corner, and I think I either went too fast or I didn't turn or something, or I hit a bump and I scraped my knee. I came in crying. And my mom's like, girl, wipe the blood off, throw on a band-aid, you're good. Suck it up, buttercup. That is the pinnacle of a non-bubble wrap parent. I think that parents sometimes forget that they were kids. They done stupid stuff. Like, for instance, like, I can sit here and say, like, I wouldn't be mad if my kid snuck out, because at the end of the day, what kid hasn't snuck out? I mean, it's hard for me to sneak out in this house because honestly, it's on stilts. You can feel everybody walking, so it's kind of hard for me to sneak out. But I was never like that type to sneak out. There was nothing like good going on to sneak out for, you know? There's never like good parties. Like, there were parties, but they're never like good parties. The difference between good parties and parties. Because if you go to parties, there's gonna be trashy parties. If you go to good party, you're gonna have great fun. But like, I want, in a relationship with kids, like, I want my kids, and even down to like girls, like, I would want, and I can go into that in a different like video, but I would want my kids to know that I'm here for them. Like, I'm 100% here for them. And if they want to go to a party, ask me. You know, ask me. If they want to go to this outing, if you will, and it's something that they probably think that I would say no to, ask me. Be like, hey, can I like steal you for a minute, mom, outside? Can we go for a brief walk? Ask me. Ask me. I may ask you what this party's about, but I'm most likely not going to say no unless you did something to piss me off within the last 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of people, and well, parents rather, but parents forget that they were kids and that they did stupid stuff, and that, you know, kids should be kids. Like, I wouldn't expect my kids to be any less or any more than kids. And with that, like, yeah, I'm gonna ask you to do chores, but your chores aren't gonna be like major freaking chores. They're gonna be like little baby minor things. And for your room, that's up to you. If you want a disastrous room, that's fine. I'm just gonna shut the door. Not my problem. It's not my space to say clean up. I'm gonna ask you, okay, like, I think your room should be cleaned. Can you please clean it? But like, if you don't clean it, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, because I'll just shut the door. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? I never understood that. House, and I've kind of already talked about this, so I'm gonna go very minor in detail. In the next 5 years, I would love to have a house built and hopefully be in a relationship. I do have videos in the future planned, like going more in depth in the house and stuff like that. These are kind of like little minor things and arguments. I would do personally. First of all, if I walk away from a argument, or like if I walk away from us talking, in that case I'm walking away because I don't want to say anything that I regret, and I know that I'm gonna come back to you. Don't worry. Like I'm not gonna forget. Like I'm gonna come back to you, and I want to talk about it because I don't want to go to bed mad and then I wake up mad. You know what I'm saying? And like today's a good example because I went to bed angry, and now, not that I'm angry, I just like, I don't have high energy like I usually do. I want to share feelings with each other to solve the problem, even though, like I said earlier, we may not solve the problems to our likings, but we compromised and we made it work because we know that we want this relationship to work. And if we can't communicate, then why are we in the relationship? If we compromise, we would both be at least at some type of ease, knowing that we solved the problem rather than being angry over not getting our way. And like with going back into like talking about the problem at that point, don't think that I'm going to be mad at what you say because it's your feelings. Spew it out. Like, just know, I mean, I'm an emotional girl, so I may cry, but like, hell, like, I won't be mad at what you said because that's how you feel. If you feel all these feelings, that's great, but please tell me, so that way in the end we can kind of work this out, you know, like that way we can both be happy and move on. I don't have anything else to talk about in my head, and honestly I may have forgotten a couple things, but if you guys think of anything else or have any questions, please comment them down below. I love talking to you guys in the comment section. It makes my day. I'll answer them to my best abilities, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, and comment down below if you found your somebody. Okay, I don't like that one. Okay, that one looks way better. Hold on, I want to put on lights. They're gonna strut their day. They're gonna strut their day. It's putting on a strain. Sorry, there's dust bunnies everywhere and I'm staring at them. I feel that okay, not filming. Don't you hate this? Sometimes you just you don't want to film, but I'm already halfway done with the video. I went from to, and when I have no words. I'm really not in the mood to film. I'm kind of hungry. I want to get up here. And I think that's what I went, meaning it'll bake. Trust is hard to break, but easy. Trust is hard to break. Trust is hard to, okay, that was a snack break. So, and I don't really know where I left off on this. I think I finished off, well, no, shut up, Leanne. As another one, so I'm properly, and, you know, I'd be like, okay, instead of asking me what enthusiasm. Now for the juicy part. Fulfillment should be no problems, or I shouldn't say that. It doesn't help you. It doesn't. I think that was my stomach. To do anything. I shouldn't say that, but I wouldn't expect. Just know, like, in that relationship, I mean, just know, talking about the relationship, I mean, not